Hey driver, bald guy here. Bruno Fernandez is my name in case you don't know me. And in today's video, there's even a miniature. Here's one that I took from my collection. Oh, here's the little white space in my collection. To talk about the differential, the active differential in the game and the inactive differential. And if you haven't seen the tip videos yet, this one is the third one. We have already talked about at the correct mode, how to use the line of the game. And we have also talked about trail braking, ABS. This is the third one. So, I'll leave the two links to these videos in the description. So, when you finish watching this, you head over to the next ones, all right? So, let's get right to it. No beating around the bush. Let's go to the content. Let's start with the active differential, all right? Because we have the active one and we have the inactive one. So, I'm going to explain the active because it will be easier for you to understand the inactive later. What is the differential? Here, in between the two front wheels, we have something right in the middle. And that's exactly what makes the wheels turn at different speeds. Different differential. That's where the name comes from, all right? The active differential is when the car is accelerating, gaining speed, okay? The active differential is when you're gaining speed, you're pressing down on the accelerator. So what is the differential? It will essentially make the car's wheels function to turn at the same or different speeds depending on the situation. Let's suppose we're making this turn here. The car comes straight and makes this turn here. When we make this turn here, the wheels on the inside of the curve will turn a shorter distance than the wheels on the outside. Do you agree? We're making a turn this way. These wheels have a longer path to cover than the wheels over here. So when we're accelerating, whether in a turn or whether on a straight road, that's where the differential comes into play. And then when you essentially adjust the differential to 100%, that is, you're precisely locking the car's wheels to turn at the same speed at 100%. To say, I don't want the wheels to turn at the same speed, I want to set something more flexible to have more control over the car, you would set it down to 60%, 50%, 40%. So, that's the main difference. For the active differential, all right. And what impacts each one? Let's say we're racing in Monza, for example, in Italy, a track that has a lot of straight sections and few curves. What are we going to do? We want more speed. So, to continue this conversation, let's start with the following. With the differential locked up at approximately 80 on 90, 100%, we're in 11, so we want to accelerate quickly, even if it costs us a bit of car control. So a higher, more locked differential gives you more acceleration, but less control of the car, increasing the risk of losing it because the wheels will spin very fast. In order to achieve our goals, such as maintaining a balance between speed and control, a higher, more locked differential is crucial. Formula One is a car that has a lot of power. If you put it in fourth gear in your car on the street, will you be able to take off? No, you won't. Put it in fourth gear in a Formula One car while standing still and see if you can take off. So, that's the difference in how we send the engine's power to the wheels. The differential will come in and act on this issue. That's why the setups for the TT have the differential set to 100% in order to achieve optimal performance and reliability. Why? Because we're keeping the car in the best possible conditions. Soft tires, always new, always fresh, light car. So, we don't have a problem with having a very high differential and then a lower differential. When are we going to use a lower differential? If you already understand the system, you'll know how to answer that, right? We're going to have less acceleration or more acceleration with a more open differential, such as potentially approximately 40%, 50%, or even 30%, for example. We're going to have less acceleration, but since the wheels are spinning at different speeds, they're in our acceleration, that is mainly in curves, we will have control of the car better. In other words, we're on a street track, which has asphalt. That's not like the asphalt of a racetrack. Prepare, that asphalt was made for race cars. It's a more abrasive asphalt, giving you more control of the car. We're going to use a higher differential as well. Now we're in Azerbaijan, we're in Monaco, full of curves, but Azerbaijan still has a lot of straight sections, right? But for example, Singapore, where all the street tracks are with asphalts. This asphalt is one asphalt for regular cars. So it will have less grip. There won't be as much control. We won't have as much control over the car. So we need to reduce the differential a bit. less speed but more control of the car, right? And in the rain? In the rain, well, that's a whole different story, right? Wet pavement will cause the car's wheels to spin. More slowly, the acceleration is lower. And what do we want to have? More control or more speed? Of course, we always want to have speed, but we already have very good control of the car. So, to wrap up what the inactive differential is, if the active differential kicks in when we're accelerating, what is the inactive differential? When we're braking, reducing the speed of the car, especially when entering turns, right? We'll have the inactive differential working there. And it's the same logic. It's about how much one tire will spin, the same as the other. So the less inactive differential we have, the more the wheels will spin differently. In our setup, we always have the active differential higher in the game and the inactive differential is lower. Another thing that certainly impacts, as the wheels are undoubtedly spinning at different speeds during braking, the inactive differential will significantly impact you, so that you can turn more easily, make the turn easier in the game. So if you set an inactive differential to 10%, you'll turn very easily. And that can even be dangerous. So there comes a point where you say, whoa, I'm turning too easily. I can hold back a bit. Increase the inactive differential a bit, so I'll be able to enter the turns more easily. I'll have more control of the car. Look, just one video, you've already had 2 videos here about the ABS line tracing. All right, I hope you enjoyed it. Leave a like, subscribe to the channel.